We welcome you to Wichita, Kansas in the 91st NBC World Series Tournament. Today, the Sters will kick off their championship run with a group stage game against the Derby Twins. Hello, I'm Hunter Shoemaker, and we welcome you to X Stadium on the campus of Wichita State. We appreciate your patience and sticking with us, and finally, the Sters run about to get underway here in Wichita. It has been a wild evening. The last game against the Hutchinson Monarchs and the San Diego Stars started right around 6 o'clock local time. The actual game time went 2 hours, 18 minutes. But the delays, there were two delays, ended up going 2 hours, 39 minutes. The delays were longer than the actual game. In case you're wondering, the Hutchinson Monarchs made it to the championship game the past 2 years, won 13-5 over the San Diego Stars. But right now, Bill Pintard at the plate meeting with the opposing manager and our three-man umpiring crew. We appreciate that you're with us wherever you may be back in Santa Barbara or around the country. And the Santa Barbara Sters, well, their season has all culminated to this moment. Every player showing up under Bill Pintard knows that there is one goal at the end of the season. It's great winning the CCL and you win as many games as you can, winning streaks. At the end of the day, the Santa Barbara Sters, year in and year out, circle a couple of dates on the calendar in the middle of the continental United States in Wichita, Kansas, of their end game and their end goal. And so far throughout the course of the Sters' history, going back to the early 1990s when the Sters was re-resurrected by Bob Townsend after the original Sters played as a semi-pro team in the early 50s. Win the NBC tournament, this NBC World Series. The Santa Barbara Sters have done it on 10 occasions. And they're looking for number 11 the end of July and into early August. And the breakdown of this tournament was still the two managers discussing at the plate. You do still see a few lightning bolts well in the distance, probably hundreds of miles. Well, maybe not hundreds of miles. It is flat here in Kansas, a little bit different than Santa Barbara. Can't really tell you the distances. Not too much of landmarks to give depth perception, but some lightning still in the distance. Faint rumbles of thunder, which was the main reasons for the delays. And then there was a heavy shell of rain that lasted probably about 30 minutes here at X Stadium. It is an AstroTurf field, so no issues in that regard. The Santa Barbara Sters ended the regular year 24-9, their CCL record. And we can take a look at the lineup today for Santa Barbara. Leading off will be Xavier Esker. He'll be the second baseman. Back with the team now, Cole Chamberlain to bat second, the DH. Batting third, also back with the team after a little bit of time at home. The third baseman, Easton Muma on the 4 spot. And in right field, Brenton Clark to bat fifth. In center field, Terrence Kill. Mick Paul will be in the 6th hole. The left fielder, Sawyer Farr, will be the shortstop, the 7th batter. Same back will bat out of the 8th spot. The catcher, Caden Miller, will hold things down at first base, the number 9 batter. And Zach James will be the starting pitcher today for the Santa Barbara Sters. But the Sters will be the designated away team, so they will bat first. There's a coin flip between the two managers about, well, typically an hour before the start of the game. And in this case, the last game just ended right around 11 o'clock local time, 20 minutes in between the conclusion of the Monarchs game and the Stars. So the Santa Barbara Sters will be the designated away team, and that means Lucas Weaver, the starting right-hander for the Derby Twins, will be on the hill. A start of the season for the right-hander, 2-0 record and a 4.65 ERA. The Derby Twins have taken the field, and the Santa Barbara Sters, again the designated away team, will be batting first. Well, one of the questions entering this tournament, there's even more additional questions now with the two teams having to wait nearly 3 hours to start their game. How will the two teams settle in? The Sters last played their game, I should say their last game that they did play on the 20th against the Coastal Dodgers, winning 14-1. But it's been a couple of days since the hitters have seen live ABs and since guys have gone out and tossed for Santa Barbara in live situations. How will the two teams start off this game, and also the fact now that you're starting at nearly 11:30 local time, especially for the starting pitchers? How do you get your routine in order, especially Zach James asking Coach Pintard earlier today, when you want me to start my routine and start getting ready mentally? And then the Sters actually showed up to the yard. The game was going on earlier between the Monarchs and the Stars, and then went back to the team hotel. So it has been an interesting evening for the Sters, and let's not forget the Sters will be playing tomorrow at midnight, a true midnight game, and we'll see if that game gets delayed and if the games go longer, if there's more weather in the area, and it could be a very long morning for the Santa Barbara Foresters. But Lucas Weaver continues to throw his warm-up pitches on the hill. The Derby Twins wearing almost a cream top white pants, and the Foresters wearing their blue tops and white bottoms. Sters housed in the third base dugout here at X Stadium on a fantastic complex here at Wichita State. If you've never seen any pictures, I would suggest to go take a look at a couple. Some nice videos on YouTube as well around the clubhouse. Very nice field. But here's Xavier Esker to hit from the right side, standing in. And Lucas Weaver, the first pitch, swinging a miss. It was a fastball to Xavier Esker in the first pitch at 11:24 local time. Game that was suspected to start at 8:30, nearly 3 hours late. Comes to the 0-1 pitch. It's another fastball away to Esker. But this time it misses 1-1. So it's going to be Esker, Chamberlain, Easton Moomaw scheduled for the Sters to start off this ball game as the designated away team. The pitch, fastball's away, down the opposite batter's box, ball 2. There's a clap of thunder on both sides of the park in the distance. One more beyond the left field walls and beyond the right field walls as well. 2-1 is on the ground left side. It's going to be Kyle Walker ranging to his right, but that ball will slip through and Esker will reach base. He had a wide turn. Ball is scooped up by Jason Searing, and it's going to go down as an E6 to start the game for the Derby Twins. So Esker to reach on the air by the shortstop. And to go back to our first question, how will the two teams settle in? First game of this NBC tournament starting at 11:24 local time. You start off with an E6 to bring up Cole Chamberlain serving as the DH. There's a check on Esker, and that ball gets away. It's right in front of the first base dugout. Esker is thinking three. He's headed to third base. It's scooped up by the right fielder, and Esker will slide in head first to third base on an errant throw from the pitcher. That ball got away from the first baseman. It was not a good throw from the pitcher, and just like that, 2 errors start this game for the Derby Twins. An E6 to allow Esker to reach base, then a 2-base error on an E1 to allow Xavier to get to third base, and there hasn't even been a pitch to Cole Chamberlain. Remember, Cole Chamberlain, since the All-Star break, went home, calls Northern California home. Here's the first pitch. Off speed is rolled to the right side. Cole Dunning fields it, scoops it, throws it, and retires Chamberlain. But Esker from third base will come home to score, and just like that, through 2 runners, it is 1-0 Santa Barbara. Esker scores on the RBI ground out from Chamberlain. The base is clear, 1 away, and a great start for Santa Barbara here on the late evening in Wichita. So a 4-3 RBI ground out for Chamberlain. Esker scores, and that's going to bring up Easton Moomaw. Here's the pitch. Fastball nearly hits him, gets away into the backstop. Ball 1. So both Cole Chamberlain and Easton Moomaw, after the All-Star, I should say, right into the All-Star break, went home, and the last week of the regular season didn't play with the team. Here's the next pitch, off speed away for ball 2. And it's huge having both Chamberlain as a catcher, the DH, and Easton Moomaw has been amazing at third base and the number 3 batter this season. 2-0 is rolled outside first and looked like maybe off the ankles of Easton. Strike 1. And here currently in X Stadium, minimal crowd, as you would expect on games that were supposed to be, at this point, finished. First pitch delayed about 3 hours. Still not good diehard fans. A few rows back here, X Stadium on the lower levels. 2-1, fastball down the middle, 2-2. So Easton Moomaw stands in, bases clear, 1 down. 1-0 already for Santa Barbara in the opening inning. 2-2 pitch. There's a breaking ball lined into right field, and it will fall right in front of Tegan Muntz, the right fielder, for a base hit and a 1-out knock for Easton Moomaw. Not missing a beat. Right back in the saddle with Santa Barbara. Moomaw at first. And that's going to now bring up Brenton Clark. Another man hit from the left side against the right-handed pitcher, Lucas Weaver. What's going to be the damage here for Santa Barbara? How many can they push in and punish the Derby Twins? The early 2 errors Now a base hit from Easton. First pitch to Brenton, squares around to bunt. It's right in front of the plate and hops its way foul just about 2 feet down the third baseline for strike one. And one thing to watch with Lucas Weaver in his eighth start of the season with the Derby Twins, teams are very successful in terms of running against him. 77% of stolen bases successful against the starting pitcher, Lucas Weaver. Appreciate Miles Hart for that insight on the starting Derby pitcher. Umon, not the biggest runner on the team for Santa Barbara, but see how that moves throughout this game. Here's the next pitch. It misses away on a fastball, 1-1 for Brenton. 1-0 Forster lead. Opening inning, Muma at first. Comes the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball nearly takes the feet off Brenton, kind of slid backwards. Good take. 2-1. There's already a man up tossing for the Derby Twins in their bullpen. Here's the pitch. Fly ball in the left center field, moving over into the gap. The left fielder, Searing, will make the squeeze. 2 out, and Mumal's looking to tag up, and he will slide in. But Mumal will be retired at second base. Actually, I looked down for just a second, and that ball ended up falling in front of Jackson Searing, the left fielder. So Easton Mumal was a force-out victim at second. For the second out, Brenton Clark will reach on a fielder's choice error. Fly ball that should have been caught, but instead he's aboard. And the first pitch now to Terrence Kill. The second will be a called strike on a slider. So the play was not made by the left fielder. And really, that's the third error of the game already for the Derby Twins, and we're just in the first inning. Here's 0-1. Check swing on Clark, but a slider for a strike, 0-2. It is a 1-0 Forster lead. Esker reached on an error, advanced to third on a two-base E1. Chamberlain brought him home on a 4-3 ground out. Oh, a 2-down, 0-2 pitch. Fastball's away to TK. Ball 1. Lucas Weaver been working with a relatively quick tempo on this hill. He's working from the first base side of the hill. There goes the runner. 1-2 pitch is tapped through the hole right side. It's through for a base hit. The second baseman was covering the bag, and there's a massive gap on the right side of the infield. TK exploits it. That ball rolled right where the second baseman would normally be standing. He was moving in to field the ball at second base. Brenton Clark, who was on the move, will go first to third. TK is aboard with a base hit in the right. Santa Barbara looking for more in this opening inning, running runners on the corners. 2 down, and already a run scored. That's going to bring up Mick Paul, and we continue to see flashes of lightning in the distance. Remember, there were 2 delays in the game prior to our game. The pitch, fastball's down to Mick. Ball 1. And you look at the games today, this is the 4th game being played, and the first 3 games were all decided in a run rule victory. There's 2 different stages in the run rules for the NBC tournament. If you're up by 10-plus runs through 5, you'll win a run rule victory. If you're up 8-plus through 7, which is what the Monarchs did in 8 innings to the San Diego Stars, you will win the ball game. But a chance for the Sters to push them more than just 1 run. TK's on the move from first. It's a ball away. Kill will slide down to second base, but the ball will get away. And from third base, Brenton Clark will come in to score. 2-0 Santa Barbara. That ball did not go very far past second base. It just went in and out of the glove harmlessly, but the aggressive base running from Brenton Clark will allow him to score the second run of the inning as more lightning in the distance continues to flash, and my eyes aren't mistaking me. It's a little bit closer than some of the flashes earlier when this game just started. So the Sters brought home 2 runs in this opening inning. The stolen base by Kill opens up the channel for Clark, and it's 2-0 for Paul. Sees the pitch, and the fastball's on the edge, 2-1. And this night sky is still very active. In the span of just probably 2 seconds, we saw 3 distinct flashes of lightning, and now make it 4, crackling through the Wichita night sky. And it's second, 2 out. Here's the pitch. The 2-1 misses away, ball 3. This is the 6th batter of the inning to face Lucas Weaver. You can hear some murmurs through the parks from their very nice vantage point in the press boxes here at X Stadium. But right now it's 3-1 for Paul. Here's the pitch. A fly ball into right center field. Well hit. Brazel's going back. That ball is off the middle of the wall in right center field. And an RBI double for Mick Paul. He was just a couple feet away from leaving the yard. He stirs it up at second and is now a 3-0 lead in the first inning for the Sters. Third hit of the inning. Just in the top half of this ballgame, we haven't even seen Zach James, the starter for Santa Barbara. As the Sters are the designated away team, 3-0. With 2 down in the inning, that's going to bring up Sawyer Farr. The switch hitter hit from the left side will take a slider for a strike. 0-1. And more lightning is flashed across the skies. Paul's at second after his RBI double. And here comes an 0-1 to Sawyer. Here's the pitch. Fastball missed inside, 1-1. There's a massive American flag, one of the biggest flags you could probably have any ballpark beyond the right field fence. Pretty limp during the rains earlier tonight. Hefty winds cutting across the field. Here's a 1-1. Misses away on a fastball for ball 2 for Sawyer. 3-0 just in the top of the first inning. We appreciate your patience as this game was delayed nearly 3 hours due to rain and lightning and the massive crack beyond the right field fence. Here's the next pitch. Slices off out of play for strike 2 for Sawyer. And that last lightning strike was considerably closer. It looks like it even touched down somewhere beyond the left field fence. Paul's at second, 2 out, 3-0 Santa Barbara, top of the first inning. The switch hitting Sawyer Farr hits from the left side against the right-hander Weaver. Nightmare of a start for the Twins. The 2-2 pitch, slider is down, blocked by Rabe, the catcher. That ball nearly went through the wickets into the backstop, but it is a full count. When you look at this field, Tyler Field here at X Stadium, giant Wichita State logo in the middle of the outfield grass, the Shockers. The mascot for Wichita State almost looks like a type of a hornet. 2-2. Fastball is inside, and rather that was a payoff pitch. Scoreboard needed to catch up here in the stadium, but it is ball 4 for Sawyer Farr. And that is now 4 straight base runners. Granted, Clark, who scored a run, reached on a fielder's choice. Error. But the last 5 men for the Sters have all reached base. That is the first walk given up by Lucas Weaver, the Twins' starting pitcher. It's a 3-0 Forster lead, and that brings up Zane Becker, the number 8 hitter. Here's the pitch. Fastball is low, ball 1. When you look at this AstroTurf field, most stripes going vertically out towards center field, oscillating dark light. There's a 1-0 pitch, flared up into right field. Muntz is out there, the right fielder, and will make the play to retire the side. Santa Barbara strike first through a half inning, 3-0 Forsters, and Zach James, the starter, out to the hill for the Sters.
Lee & Sons Plumbing and Heating is proud to join the Foresters family of sponsors this season. I, Conan, a third-generation owner, was proud to coach for the Foresters for several seasons. Just like the Foresters are champs on the field, Lee & Sons are champs off it. We're experts in every type of plumbing and heating service and repair, from leaks and clogs to heaters and faucets. Strike out your plumbing problems by calling us at 805-965-9586. Lee & Sons, the champions of plumbing and heating. 805-965-9586. Stir it up.
Need a new copier for your office? Coastal Copy is the original copier dealer in the Tri-Counties and your authorized Kyocera dealer, offering complete sales, service, and supplies on a full line of Kyocera Task Alpha digital MFPs. And thanks to the latest in Kyocera mobile and cloud technology, we offer Kyocera's mobile print app, which allows you to access documents through your smartphone or tablet. Call us today to schedule your free assessment and quote.
You'll see a difference because we go the distance.
Call 1-800-995-8835.
The Santa Barbara Foresters lead 3-0 on to the bottom of the first, and Zach James will be the starting pitcher. And I imagine when he woke up this morning expecting the game at 8:30, he wasn't expecting to be throwing out his first pitches of his day at likely 11:40 local time. James, the Texas native, this season has been one of the most reliable arms for the Santa Barbara Foresters. It's his 7th game tonight, 4th start. He's not recorded a decision. He has 1 save, but a 1.25 ERA. Through 21 and 2/3 innings, he has only walked 4 and struck out 25. Bill Pintard knows the importance of starting out these tournaments on the right foot, and he trusts James to do so. And even though we're just underway, while we're on the topic of starting pitchers, expecting A.J. Crodell, the UC Santa Barbara Gaucho, to get the start tomorrow, and 2 pitchers that have to change their typical routines, and especially for James, expecting to be throwing at 8:30. It's going to be 11:40 when he throws his first pitch to Peanut Brazel, the leadoff man and a recent addition for the Derby Twins. Zach James took a moment to stroll behind the hill, gets on the center of the bump, and here comes the first pitch to Peanut Brazel, the center fielder for the Twins. It is a fastball high and in, ball 1. It's going to be Brazel, Walker, Searing, scheduled for Derby. Santa Barbara put up 3 runs in the top half of this inning. 1-0 pitch. Off speed is slowly rolled over to Sawyer Farr. The shortstop fields it cleanly. Throw in time. 1 away. One away and the base is clear. Bottom of the first. That's going to bring up Kyle Walker. And in case you're wondering, Derby is a town located only about 10 miles away from Wichita. So a Kansas-based team, one of many in this 91st edition of the NBC World Series, 6 to be exact, hailing from the state of Texas. First pitch now to Walker. Swing and a miss on a fastball, strike 1. Walker's a recent addition for the Twins. No official stats with Derby this past season. Nobody on, 1 out. 0-1 pitch. Fastball is down for ball 1. After Walker will be Jackson Searing. Zach James, the right-hander, delivers a 1-1 pitch. Fastball's away, missing at the knees. Ball 2. And you look at the scores today. First contest, the Lone Star Kraken won 10-1. Lone Star Baseball Club won 11-0 over their respective opponents. But now a 2-1 pitch to Walker. Off speeds away, and Becker had to reach over to his left, snare that baseball, but with no one on base. It's a good athletic play, however, from Zane. It's 3-1. Again, we appreciate you sticking with us wherever you may be. Late night baseball. 3-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Full count was that heater from Zach James. With 1 away, base is clear. Here comes the 3-2 pitch on its way. Misses a fastball. And it's a 1-out walk for Kyle Walker. Let's take a look at the defense for the Sters. Used to move on back in his typical position at third. Sawyer Farr is at short. Xavier Esker at second. Caden Miller is at first. Zane Becker does the catching. Mick Paul will be in left. Terrence Kill is second. Center. Brenton Clark out in right. It's a 1-out base runner for the Twins. Santa Barbara lead 3-0. We're in the bottom of the first. First pitch now to Searing on its way. And it loses the lumber, and that almost got lodged in the netting just to the right of the third base dugout. Went clean out of his hands, flew like a saucer just to the right of the entrance to the third base dugout, where Santa Barbara is housed here at X Stadium. A lot of moisture in the air and still probably right about 80 degrees. Probably the humidity right at that point as well. 0-1. Slider down and away. Ball and a strike for Jackson Searing. A little bit cooler than 80 degrees. Mid-70s. Next pitch. Fouled off to the right. Out of play out of the entire complex. You've got a first row concourse. And then you have elevated seating behind that first couple rows. Really nice stadium here, campus of Wichita State. With 1 on, 1 out, comes the 1-2 pitch to Searing. Fastball's upstairs. Zane Becker sprung up quickly to receive that ball. The catcher, 2-2. Sters put up 3 runs, top half of this inning. Jackson Searing entering today. He's gone 4 for 10. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Slider down. Full count. James trying to prevent back-to-back walks, looking for a ground ball. Walker's at first. Nice lead at the first base bag. A check over to him. Miller holds on to him, the first baseman for Santa Barbara. It's 3-2 for Jackson Searing. James coming set. Working from the stretch. The pitch is fouled off to the right. Out of play. Main's 3-2. After Searing will be Noah Allison for the Derby Twins. Bottom of 1, 3-0 Sters. Comes the 3-2 pitch from James. Runners on the move, but that ball's fluttered up and over the first base dugout. Lands just behind the first base dugout with some premium seating, bar table seats with some high top chairs surrounding a couple of half moon shaped bar seat tables directly on top of the first base dugout. So it remains 3-2. Santa Barbara will be getting very accustomed to playing at this time of night. We'll have the same slot tomorrow. It's another 3-2 pitch. It's fouled off again. All the way up and into the metal bleacher seats beyond the first base dugout. The Sters and the Twins playing at a Pool C, Group B, whichever you'd like to call it. Currently in the group/pool play stage. 3-2 pitch to Searing. Fastball is lifted into right field. Drifting back is Brenton Clark. And he will make the squeeze right as lightning strikes beyond the center field fence. 2 down. There have been some menacing lightning rods beyond the right field fence. So now with 2 down, good work from Zach James to finally retire Jackson Searing after a very long battle at the plate for the second out. Sters lead 3-0, bottom of 1, bringing up Noah Allison. First pitch, fastball's away. Ball 1. Allison, the most consistent man this season for the Twins, entering today in 360. And he has a lot of pop in his bat. Comes a 1-0. Swing and a miss, fooled on a slider. 1-1. Allison hitting 6 points under 700, so 694. He's had 10 long balls this season. 1 on. It's Walker at first with 2 out. Comes a 1-1 pitch from James. Is a fastball right down the middle. Strike 2. Should Allison reach? Cade Sutherland will be next. James looking to take us to the second. 3-0 Santa Barbara. Long look into his catcher, Zane Becker. And a check to the man at first base. Still awaiting a 1-2 pitch to Noah Allison. In the next inning, Miller, Esker, Chamberlain, scheduled for Santa Barbara. James gets the sign from Becker. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Runners on the move, but a swing and a miss, chasing the high cheese upstairs. And Zach James works around a one-out walk, and through one, Santa Barbara on top 3-0 over the Derby Twins.
It's out of here. It's tough to tell whether that's another Foresters home run or one of the many flights going out of the Santa Barbara airport. With 22 daily departures and 11 direct destinations, including Chicago, Dallas, Las Vegas, San Diego, and Seattle, there's no need to drive and fly when you can take off local at the Santa Barbara airport. Prepare for a departure from the usual travel experience. Choose SBA and depart differently. A proud partner of the Santa Barbara Foresters.
Welcome back to X Stadium, the campus of Wichita State. Santa Barbara Foresters have a 3-0 lead over the Derby Twins. They'll have 9-1-2 coming up. Santa Barbara, the designated away team today, and it is day 2 and the 4th game of the day, and a day that has been plagued by delays, 2 of which in the last game. The delays were actually longer than the game time when the ball was in play. Nearly 5-hour game. So here's the first pitch, a called strike on the outside edge to Caden Miller. Throughout the season, we've always talked about the lefty dominant lineup, and Miller will hit from the left side against the right-hander Weaver. 0-1 is tapped off the ankles on a slider for strike 2. Santa Barbara Foresters seeking NBC title number 11. Last of which was in 2022 over the Hayes Larks, who, by the way, are the reigning NBC World Series champions, took down the Monarchs last season. There's no 2, and the fastball misses inside of Miller, ball 1. The Monarchs were the team that just played a 13-5 victory over the San Diego Stars in 8 innings. Lucas Weaver delivers a 1-2 pitch. It's lifted over the third base dugout. Out of play. Remains 1-2. After Miller, Xavier Esker will be next for the Sters. But right now, 1-2 pitch, and it will bounce in probably a foot in front of the plate. 2-2. Caden Miller has been holding things down defensively at first base. Open out pitching of Zach James. Longer hold on the hill. 2-2 pitch to Miller. A check swing, but called strike 3. The fastball on the inside edge. Caden's going to go down looking. 1 away in the second. Santa Barbara lead 3-0. Just underway. Top of 2. That's going to bring up Xavier Esker. Esker, eventful first plate appearance, reached on E6. Was able to get to third base on an E1. Scored when Cole Chamberlain brought him home. Here's the pitch. Slider on the outside corner for strike 1. Esker tightens the batting gloves. The base is clear 1 away. 3-0 Forester lead. 0-1 pitch. Is a slider in the left field, and it will fall for a base hit. So Esker has a 1-out knock. Looked like the slider from Lucas Weaver hung a little bit, and Esker hung a base hit in the left to bring up Cole Chamberlain. That is the 4th hit already for Santa Barbara, 3 of which in the last inning. And that's going to now bring up Cole Chamberlain. 1 on, 1 out. First pitch on the outside corner, 0-1. Esker's at first. One down. Here's the 0-1 pitch to Chamberlain in the left field. Well hit. Searing's going to have to travel back, and he'll have enough room to make the play. 2 out. The left fielder initially moved in, had to retract back a couple paces, or retire Chamberlain for the second out. Esker remains at first. With 2 out, top of 2, Foresters lead 3-0. That's going to bring up Easton Mumaw. Easton, throughout this season, has been Mr. Consistent. Nearly picking up a hit every game, it seems like, and doesn't get a hit, somehow reaching base one form or another. First pitch is a breaking ball missing down, ball 1. Already has a base hit into right. And at first, he's going to take off. The 1-0 pitch is away for ball 2. It's a good throw from the catcher, but a little bit wide, and Esker slides in head first to second. Stolen base for Xavier. Throw is on the first base side of second. Tough play for Cole Dutton and Kyle Walker, the 2 middle infielders trying to sort it out. And it was a ball to Mumaw, 2-0. Here comes the pitch. It's lifted into left. Moving in is Searing, and will make a comfortable play out and left to retire the side. The Sters will strand Esker after a 1-out single, and through 1.5, Sters lead 3-0 over the Derby Twins. Santa Barbara Airport has 5 airlines: American, Alaska, Delta Air, Southwest, and United, with 12 direct destinations from Santa Barbara to Atlanta, Dallas, Denver, Las Vegas, Oakland, Los Angeles, Salt Lake City, Portland, San Francisco, Phoenix, Seattle, and Sacramento. With 23 daily departures from Santa Barbara, SBA's newest daily service on Delta Airlines to Atlanta and Salt Lake City can ensure that you can get anywhere in the world in just one stop. SBA is proud to join over 200 airports around the world in the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program. Passengers with a disability can opt into the program, and in doing so, trained staff at SBA will be there to provide additional level of customer service. You can learn more at www.flysba.com. Once again, you can learn more and book your flights today from Santa Barbara at www.flysba.com. Bottom of the second inning with the Santa Barbara Foresters, the designated away team. SB leads 3-0 over the Derby Twins, team hailing from Kansas. 5, 6, 7 will be scheduled for Zach James. Worked around a 1-out walk in the first. Ended up striking out Allison to retire the side in the previous inning. So here comes the first pitch to the right-handed batter, Sutherland. Swinging a miss on the fastball, actually tapped back off the mask of Becker. 0-1. Infield playing at double play depth straight away, as is the outfield, and this sprawling AstroTurf here at X Stadium. Very nice setup and very nice field, but if you're playing during the day, it's not too nice to be sitting down there at the AstroTurf. Here's the next pitch. Swinging a miss on the fastball, 0-2. And the team's playing in the midday sun, especially the next couple days. It's going to tick up the temperature. It was a little overcast, and obviously the storm's here today. But it's going to get hotter. 0-2. Check swing. He got knotted up and went around on a slider, and Zach James strikes him out in back-to-back Ks going to the last inning. 1 away in the second. So a 1 down, bottom of 2. That's going to bring up Damian Garcia. Garcia entering today, hitting .306. OPS of just shy of 1,000. Just 4 points. 996 OPS this season. Here's the pitch. Right-handed batter will take a slider for a strike. 0-1. For the Derby Twins, this is their 18th NBC World Series. Their 17th in modern wood era. We'll break that down in just a moment. Here's an 0-1. As Zach James will just miss with the fastball 1-1. The NBC tournament first started in 1935, and the modern wood era started in 2000. That's when the tournament transitioned to wooden bats. With nobody on, 1 out, there's a 1-1 pitch to Garcia. Slider is down, ball 2. And this tournament size has fluctuated over the years. That first year of the NBC, there were 32 teams at one point in 2000, 2001. 48 teams participated in the National Baseball Congress World Series. There's a 2-1 pitch as Zach James induces a ground ball to right up the middle and trundles its way over second base. No chance for the middle infielders. And a 1-out single for the Derby Twins, their first hit of the day. Sters already have 4 knocks. First now for the Twins. That's going to bring up Connor Rabe. Rabe wearing probably a powder blue helmet to go along with the cream tops and white pants for the Derby Twins. 1 on, 1 out. Rabe out of the 7th spot. The catcher today for Derby. The pitch is a fastball located 0-1. Man at first, and Zach James now working more from the third base side of the hill. Sees an 0-1 pitch to Rabe. It's going to be a slider lifted down the line, the right field line, and slices back on to the bleacher seats beyond the first base dugout. 0-2. And so for the Derby Twins, with 17 of their NBC tournament appearances coming in the modern wood era, that's all coming since 2000. So they've been a relatively consistent team, especially since the turn of the century here in Wichita. And why not? If you're able to qualify for this tournament one way or another in just 10-mile drive, this team from Kansas. Another big crack of thunder beyond the left field fence. Wouldn't be surprised at some point this game gets called for lightning. 0-2 on its way. Fastball's misses. 0-1. You hear a slight murmur of crickets in the distance as well, and continually, we see lightning crackle consistently through the night sky. 1-2 pitch from James. The broken bat's a ground ball to second, moving over as Esker slides. The throw to first will be late. A heck of an effort from Xavier Esker. Slid to his left in the hole. Stopped that ball from going into right, but it will be an infield single for Connor Rabe. There were a couple broken pieces of the bat right in front of the plate, but back-to-back singles for the Derby Twins. This is the best play you could ever ask for from a second baseman. Just some good speed from the catcher. For the first time this ballgame, the Twins have 2 on. Sters lead 3-0. First pitch swinging. This is up the middle, just past Sawyer Farr at short. Terrence Kills scoops up, and a great throw from the center fielder. Holds the runner at third base. Garcia put the brakes on. That ball wasn't hit particularly hard. A cannon from Kill in center. It's going to load up the bases. And 3 straight hits just like that against Zach James. The starting pitcher this season for the Sters, who has been fantastic, is going to have to work around 3 straight hits. Bases loaded, and the tying run now at first to bring up Cole Dudding. Dudding batting out of the 9 spot, just 1 out in the inning. Here comes the pitch. Fastball's lifted down the right field line, slicing into foul ground. A couple of bodies converge, and that ball will be caught by Brenton Clark. The throw in at the plate. Maybe a chance. Safe at the plate. Damian Garcia from third base advances, just evades the tag. And I think everyone in the third base dugout for the Santa Barbara Foresters thought they had a double play turned, throwing out the runner at the plate. But instead, Garcia will plate the first run of the day for the Twins. It is a 3-1 ball game. Clark made the play in foul ground for the second out. That scores Damian Garcia. So it's a 3-1 ball game, bottom of 2. Back to the top of the order, and here's the pitch. Peanut Brazel sees the fastball down. Ball 1. So with 2 down, runner at first, runner at second, and a run in for the Derby Twins. Comes the 1-0 pitch from James. Fastball is lifted to right. Brenton Clark has to adjust, going back a couple paces. Makes the play to retire the side. There are 3 straight hits, but James does well to limit the damage. Through 2, Santa Barbara on top 3-1 over the Twins.
During this time of record market highs and gradual economic recovery, it's essential you have someone you can trust. For 10 consecutive years, the Santa Barbara News Press Reader's Choice Poll has awarded Tremblay Financial Services recognition for the financial guidance they provide their clients. Tremblay Financial Advisors continually educate their clients with new options and financial planning tailored fit to you. For more information or an appointment, call 569-1982 or log on to tremblayfinancial.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Centaurus Financial Inc., member FINRA and SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Tremblay Financial Services and Centaurus Financial are not affiliated companies. Investing involves risk, including potential loss of principal. No investment strategy can guarantee a profit or protect against a loss in periods of declining values.
Back in Wichita, Brenton Clark will lead off for the Santa Barbara Foresters. Here comes the first pitch. Not competitive from Lucas Weaver, the starting pitcher for the Twins remaining in this ball game. Clark, Kill, Paul scheduled top of 3. Santa Barbara lead 3-1 over the Twins. Here's the pitch. Fastball's away, 2-0 for Brenton. Clark made a nice skidding play in foul ground beyond the first baseline, really the right field line for the second out. It's a 2-0. Nearly bunted it down the third baseline. We've seen that ploy from Clark numerous times this season. At any given count, especially when he's ahead. The third baseman playing back. You square around, lay down a perfect bunt down the third baseline. And now the third baseman, Noah Allison, starting to pinch in. But it's 2-1. Pitch is down the left field line, out of play. Strike 2. Santa Barbara came out firing. 3 runs in the opening inning. The Twins just plated their first run of the ball game. Bottom of the second. Now the 2-2 pitch is just away. Fantastic take from Brenton. The fastball. Weaver probably thought it was called strike 3, but instead it's a full count. Working from the first base side of the hill. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a foul tip back into Rabe's glove. And Clark will strike out on the fastball, 1 away. Second K of the day for Lucas Weaver. And that's going to bring up Terrence Kill the second. Nobody on, 1 down, top of 3. Here comes the first pitch to Terrence. Fastball is bounced over to Cole Dudding at second. Has a long run in. The throw is late. Terrence killed the back end speed, able to beat it out somehow. I think Dudding was moving in, and as soon as that ball got into his glove, Terrence had a little extra pop in the burners. And he's able to reach base, beating the throw out in an infield single. Fantastic work from TK again, using the speed. We saw it with him stealing the base in the opening inning and allowed Brenton Clark to come in to score. Well, one out base runner, and that's going to bring up now Mick Paul. Paul nearly left the yard in the opening inning. RBI double on the right center. Here's the pitch and a big cut. Fanned on it, nothing but air for strike one. Wouldn't be surprised at some point in this inning if TK, especially early in this count for Mick Paul with one out, takes off. There's a check on Terrence. He slides in head first. Mick Paul batting fifth today. And we've seen him all throughout the lineup in his time here with the Santa Barbara Foresters. Up and down the lineup, and it's been a big pickup for the Sters. 0-1. There goes Kill. It's a strike to Paul. Terrence is down to second. No, he's out. Caught stealing. Great throw by Connor Rave, and TK is thrown out for the second out of the inning. Couldn't ask for a better throw from the catcher. And CS for TK down at second. 2 out in the third. So with the bases clear, 2 away, and Mick Paul's now at an 0-2 count. Here comes the pitch from Weaver. It's down on a slider. Ball 1. Been watching the lightning here. The dark night sky in Wichita. Looks like it's calmed down just a little bit. There were some pretty big strikes, but now a 1-2 pitch, and Paul fouls it off the end of the bat, directly behind the plate. 1-2. Santa Barbara Foresters. Mentioning Paul and a big pickup for the Sters in the middle of the season. 3 players are now on the roster that were not on the roster when the regular season ended. We'll get to those players more in a moment. 1-2 pitch now to Paul is down. Ball 2. 3 players that were added. Johnny Rodriguez, the former Forester, and also played with the OC Riptide this past year. Ethan Fender and Owen Rush. 3 men added to this NBC roster to help buff up this Forester lineup. Here's a 2-2. In the air to left. Out there is Searing. Just strolls over to his right. Will make the squeeze. And Weaver just has to face the minimum. Works around the Terrence Kill infield single. He was caught stealing. And through 2.5, the Santa Barbara Foresters on top 3-1 for the Derby Twins.
When it comes to your office equipment needs, call Coastal Copy. We're the largest independent office equipment dealership in the Tri-Counties, and as your locally owned authorized Savin dealer, Coastal Copy offers complete sales, service, and supplies on a full line of Savin digital copiers and MFPs, Savin color printers, digital duplicators, Savin wide format systems, digital presses, document management solutions, and more. That's Coastal Copy.
You'll see a difference because we go the distance.
Call 1-800-995-8835.
Bottom of the third inning, 3-1 Forester lead. The Sters are the designated away team. Zach James, the starter for Santa Barbara, back out on the hill. Here comes the first pitch. Fastball missed high and away to Kyle Walker. Leads off for the Derby Twins. Walker, Jackson Searing, and then Noah Allison scheduled for Derby as 2-3-4. Here comes a 1-0 pitch to the shortstop. He got knotted up, half-hearted swinging around the zone. 1-1. Zach James worked around some traffic, gave up 3 straight base hits, and limited the damage to just a single run. 1-1. Swing and a miss on the fastball. Strike 2. Still a very warm evening from Wichita. And here comes the 1-2 pitch to the leadoff batter from James. Is lifted into right. Brenton Clark strolls back a couple paces into the left center field, right center field gap. Camps out under it. Makes the play. 1 away. Clark's been busy out there in right. He's recorded 4 outs today, and we're just through 2 1/3. So with 1 away, Foresters lead 3-1 over the Twins. In the last of the 3rd inning, it's going to bring up Jackson Searing to hit from the right side against the right-hander Zach James. Here's the pitch. Fastball, swing and a miss. See how long Zach James can go in this ball game. Here comes the 0-1 delivery. It is a slider on the inside half. No, just misses in. Ball and a strike. James in his last start was actually the last game before the All-Star break, so that was July 13th. Went 6 innings, 7 hits. Here's a 1-1. Another slider down for ball 2. It was a quality start from Zach, but a no decision. No runs came around to score. He walked 1 and K'd 8. And I feel like past couple weeks for Santa Barbara entering Wichita, a lot of quality starts from their respective starters. 2-1. Fastball upstairs, ball 3, and 3 straight balls from Zach against Jackson Searing. James takes a moment behind the hill. And here comes a 3-1 pitch to Jackson Searing. Fastball is inside, and after first pitch strike, the next 4 missing from Zach. And a 1-out walk for the Derby Twins, and the second walk today given up by Zach James. So with 1 on, 1 out, that's going to bring up Noah Allison. Allison struck out back in the opening inning. But a 1-out base runner. Here's the pitch. This is up the middle, hard hit through for a base hit into center field. That ball bounced over second base, no chance for the middle infield. And a 1-out walk, and now a 1-out single for Noah Allison to make things interesting for the Derby Twins and the Sters. Tying run now at first. 3-1 Forester game. That's going to bring him to the plate. Cade Sutherland. Using a pink bat today along with pink batting gloves. Here's the pitch. Expect the changeup missing inside, and the bat's more of a baby pink and a hot pink batting gloves for the number 5 batter, Sutherland, the DH. A chance with an extra base hit, a gap shot with Allison at first base to try to tie this game. More thunder beyond the left field fence. 1-0 pitch is popped up into foul ground right side. Zane Becker, the catcher, will run out of room. And that ball will bound probably 5 rows up in the lower section. 1-1. Look at the history for the Derby Twins. The franchise was first located in Wichita. Remember, Derby just about 10 miles away from where we currently are located. A 2 on, 1 out. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Upstairs, ball 2. Look back to last year's NBC. Derby Twins went 2-2. Then ended up losing, I should say, 2-1 during group stage play and lost in the first round, the knockout stage. 2-1. Big cut on a fastball. Fans on it, 2-2. 3-1 Forster lead. Bottom of the third. Searing is at second. Allison is at first. 2 base runners for the Twins. Can James find a ground ball? 2-2 pitch is lined straight to Muma at third, and they're going to double up the runner at second base. Why find a ground ball when he can line out to East to Muma and then double up Searing at second to turn 2. Zach James and company work around a 1-out walk and hit. Come out of the inning unscathed through 3. The Forsters on top 3-1 over the Derby Twins.
Lee & Sons Plumbing and Heating is proud to join the Foresters family of sponsors this season. I, Conan, a third-generation owner, was proud to coach for the Foresters for several seasons. Just like the Foresters are champs on the field, Lee & Sons are champs off it. We're experts in every type of plumbing and heating service and repair, from leaks and clogs to heaters and faucets. Strike out your plumbing problems by calling us at 805-965-9586. Lee & Sons, the champions of plumbing and heating. 805-965-9586. Stir it up.
Back in Wichita, Kansas is a 3-1 Forster lead. Sters are the designated away team. We are in the top of the 4th inning. Here comes the first pitch to Sawyer Farr. It's into left field, falling quickly, but Searing, the left fielder, will slide to his right and will retire Sawyer Farr. Lucas Weaver, the starter, 1 pitch, will retire Sawyer for the first out. So with 1 away, that's going to bring up Zane Becker. Zane had a line out into right. First time up against Lucas Weaver. The Sters did all their damage in the opening inning, plating 3 runs. First pitch now to Zane. Fastball high and in, ball 1. The first inning, we saw 2 errors from the Derby Twins, 3 hits from the Sters to push in 3. Here's the next pitch, and that's upstairs for ball 2 to Zane Becker. Zane's at the number 8 spot today for the Sters. As these 2 teams playing at a Pool C, the other 2 teams in this bracket, or group, whatever you'd like to call it, the Hornets and the Lone Star Baseball Club. Here's the next pitch, and it's into center field. There was maybe a chance for the shortstop, Kyle Walker, as that ball was only about head high. He took a few paces to his left, the shortstop, that is. But no chance at it, and Zane Becker is aboard for the first time this championship. A 1-out single in the center. The Sters look to tack on, as X Stadium has thinned out drastically since earlier today when, especially even during this San Diego Stars Hutchinson Monarchs game, and the 2 rain delays and lightning delays. Still some diehard fans in attendance. First pitch now spiked in the dirt, gets away, and down to second base goes Zane Becker. The first pitch to Caden Miller was spiked in front of the plate by Weaver. And the wild pitch will advance Zane down to second. So with 1 out and a runner now into scoring position, Caden Miller's at a 1-0 count. And the last time the Foresters took the field against the Coastal Dodgers, Miller had a nice ball game. He had 2 RBIs on a double. This ball is lined into center field and drifting into the gap. Zane Becker is getting waved around. It's picked up by Peanut Brazel, but an RBI single for Caden Miller, and the Santa Barbara Foresters extend their lead. It is now 4-1 with one away in the fourth. So back-to-back singles for the Santa Barbara Foresters. Bring home their fourth run of the day. And we have seen a couple RBIs already today. These RBIs brought to us by our friends at Gold's Gym. Gold's has 3 locations in Santa Barbara where the Foresters train for victory. Back to the top of the order. First pitch is fouled back by Zane Becker. Strike one. Rather, Xavier Esker, Zane Becker just scored. Esker today has reached on an error, scored a run, and a base hit into left. Miller's at first, one away. Miller's going to take off. The pitch is in there for a strike. The throw will be late, and it actually bounced in and out of the glove of Cole Dudding. And Miller has a stolen bag, and the second stolen base of the day for the Santa Barbara Foresters. And check that, the third. And Bill Pintard always stresses how speed kills. Force the opposition to be on reaction mode, and balls can get away and cause havoc on the defensive end for your opposition. Just like that, 3 stolen bags. But now the 0-2 pitch to Esker will miss away. Ball 1. Chamberlain will be next. Top half of 4. 4-1 Forester lead, already a run in this inning. 1-2 pitch is lined straight to the shortstop. No chance at doubling up Caden Miller. He was able to scamper back as Cole Dudding was slowly moving in the second baseman to try to maybe make a play. But Esker is a line-out victim to short. Second out of the inning. And that's going to bring Cole Chamberlain. Chamberlain today is an RBI ground out. And a line out to left. 4-1 Foresters. Top of 4. Miller remains at second. And Chamberlain, great to see him along with Easton Mumon back with the Sters. Here's the pitch. It's down the right field line, foul. Probably about 1.5 feet outside the chalk line. Strike one. But Chamberlain and Easton Mumon going into the All-Star break went home and didn't play the final week of the regular season. Getting a little extra R&R and joining the team in Wichita after an eventful travel day as well for the Foresters. Here's an 0-1. Off speed's going to miss in the dirt, 1-1. There's a good number of players, probably about 8 to 10, that were on the exact same flight out of Phoenix, Arizona, coming to Wichita. There's a lot of delays, especially to other flights into Dallas. Some flight rescheduling for a couple of players, but everyone made it here. Here's a 1-1. Change up away. Ball 2. And after the summer season will come to a close, whenever it may be for the Foresters, it's always an interesting time of year. You spend so long with these guys that you build relationships with, and a very tight group this season for the Foresters. And when this NBC tournament is all said and done, it'll be over. There's a 2-1. It's a fly ball to center. Playable for Peanut Brazel. The center fielder slides over to the left center field gap, camps out under it, and the side is retired. But Caden Miller scores Zane Becker, and through 3.5, Foresters lead 4-1 over the Twins. Santa Barbara Airport has 5 airlines: American, Alaska, Delta Air, Southwest, and United, with 12 direct destinations from Santa Barbara to Atlanta, Dallas, Denver, Las Vegas, Oakland, Los Angeles, Salt Lake City, Portland, San Francisco, Phoenix, Seattle, and Sacramento. With 23 daily departures from Santa Barbara, SBA's newest daily service on Delta Airlines to Atlanta and Salt Lake City can ensure that you can get anywhere in the world in just one stop. SBA is proud to join over 200 airports around the world in the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program. Passengers with a disability can opt into the program, and in doing so, trained staff at SBA will be there to provide additional level of customer service. You can learn more at www.flysba.com. Once again, you can learn more and book your flights today from Santa Barbara at www.flysba.com. Thanks for joining us on the Forsters Radio Network. As an ambulance hums past the left field fence, there's a run running parallel down the right field line here at Wichita State. First pitch now to Damian Garcia. It will be rolled over to second base. Esker ranging to his right. Nice play on one pitch to retire Damian Garcia. That ball was hit a little harder than I thought initially off the bat, and a relatively smooth-looking play for Esker that was anything but routine. A 4-3 groundout starts the bottom of the fourth inning. It's a 4-1 Forster lead. And that's now going to bring up Connor Rabe with Zach James continuing to roll for Santa Barbara now through 3 1/3. First pitch now to the catcher is a fastball down. There's another ambulance down that road that runs parallel down the right field line. 1-0 pitch. Check swing and misses inside. Understand that actually fouled off the edge of the barrel for Connor Rabe. So it will be strike one. Rabe today has an infield single to the right-hand side of the infield. With nobody on, 1 out, 1-1 pitch is a slider, swing and a miss. Nasty pitch from James. 1-2. Tegan Muntz will be next for the Twins. 4-1 Forster lead. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Longer hold on its way is a slider called strike 3. And Ray will go down looking. Third punch out of the day for James. So 2 down. James working quick here. Bottom of 4. First pitch now to Tegan Muntz. Starts him off with the fastball. He chops it down the third baseline. Foul. Strike 1. For the Santa Barbara Forsters, under the stewardship of Bill Pintard, and Bill Pintard has been noted and cited of really just building this Santa Barbara Forsters dynasty. Bob Townsend was the original Forster coach in the early 90s of the current Santa Barbara Forsters. He laid the foundation. Pintard built the house. Here's an 0-1. Slider, strike, 0-2. And Bill Pintard in the NBC Hall of Fame in the 2014 Hall of Fame class. With 2 down, here's an 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss on the fastball from James, and he worked quickly through 6, 7, and 8, and we're through 4. The Sters leading 4-1 over the Twins.
Lee & Sons Plumbing and Heating is proud to join the Forsters family of sponsors this season. I, Conan, a third-generation owner, was proud to coach for the Forsters for several seasons. Just like the Forsters are champs on the field, Lee & Sons are champs off it. We're experts in every type of plumbing and heating service and repair, from leaks and clogs to heaters and faucets. Strike out your plumbing problems by calling us at 805-965-9586. Lee & Sons, the champions of plumbing and heating. 805-965-9586. Stir it up.
Thanks for joining us on the Forsters Radio Network as a 4-1 Forster lead onto the 5th inning. And this 5th inning brought to us by our friends at Finney's Craft House. Finney's now has 2 locations in Santa Barbara, one on Lower State Street and one in Goleta. Finney's is a great place to gather before or after any Forsters game. Finney's Craft House. Sters will have Mumaw Clark Kill scheduled to face a new arm, a lefty. Carter Swan will take over. This lefty-dominant Forster lineup will now have to face the left-hander. First pitch, fastball, miss inside, and Swan almost has in his windup a little bit of a hitch. His leg kicks up, kind of stabs in the air. It's going to have to be an adjustment for the Forsters. Here comes a 1-0 pitch to Easton. It is a fastball rolled through the right side and into right field for a base hit. Easton picks up his second knock, coming in the leadoff fashion to start the 5th inning. There's a 4-1 Forster lead. And you could feel the velo tick up just a little bit for Carter Swan after Lucas Weaver, the starter, ended up going 4. They'll be on the hook with the Sters a 3-run advantage, and they're looking for more in this Finney's 5th inning. Now at the plate, Brenton Clark, another man hit from the left side. Here comes the pitch. It is a fastball, and Clark's late on it. Strike 1. Brenton today reached on a fielder's choice. Really, it was an error and then struck out. Here is a 0-1. There's another fastball, and Clark's swinging a miss. Late on it again, and he readjusts the helmet and settles back in. Swan definitely throwing harder than Lucas Weaver. Umaw's at first, nobody out. But now the 0-2 pitch to Brenton Clark. High and tight, has to lean back. There's another heater. Ball 1. After Brenton will be Terrence Kill the second. The Forsters put up 3 runs in the first and 1 run in the last inning. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Is called strike 3 on the inside corner. Clark is going to go down looking. Carter Swan strikes out the second man he faces, and Clark will be retired for the first out, top of the 5th inning. As we are past 12:30 Kansas time, the Forsters slated to play at midnight tomorrow. Here's the first pitch now to TK. It's low in the zone, but called strike at the knees, 0-1. Baseball around the clock starts tomorrow at noon. I'll be going for more than 24 hours. Comes an 0-1 now to TK. Is a slider, and he fouls it back halfway up the screen behind the plate. 0-2. Top of 5, Mumaw had a leadoff single. Sters looking to add on to their 4-1 lead. Carter Swan quickly had no balls, 2 strikes on Terrence Kill, who, by the way, is 2 for 2 today. Here comes a strike 2 pitch. Is going to be down in the dirt on a fastball. Ball 1. The Santa Barbara Forsters making yet another trip and appearance to Wichita. Most successful team in this tournament, and especially since the start of the Modern Wood era. 1-2 now to TK, and he's just able to get a piece of it on a breaking ball. Stays alive. The Modern Wood era started in 2000 when the NBC transitioned into wood bats. Prior to that, it's different composite bats, and the Forsters, since the start of the wood era, have gone 114 wins to compare to just 29 losses in NBC World Series games. That's how big and dominant the Forsters have been. Of course, 10 championships as well. But now the 1-2 pitch to TK is going to miss inside. Mumaw is able to advance down to second base. That ball skipped in. Rabe couldn't cover it, the catcher, and it missed for ball 2. So it's 2-2 now for TK. Mumaw advancing on a wild pitch. The team with the most wins behind the Sters in the Modern Wood era, Hayes Larks, 85 wins to 42 losses. but a man in scoring position with one away. 2-2 pitch to Terrence Kill is lifted into right center field. Moving in is Muntz. Camps out under it. Makes the squeeze. Mumma at second will hold. Likely a prudent play. Kill is retired for the first time. Fly out in the right. 2 out. TK retired, and that's going to bring up Mick Paul, who nearly left the yard in the first inning. He had to settle for 2 bases. An RBI double that was probably halfway up the wall, which is 375 in a right center. Came very close to going deep against Lucas Weaver. But now the pitch is going to be a slider for a strike. 0-1. Another lefty-lefty matchup with the Derby Twins calling on Carter Swan out of the bullpen. First man out. Throws from the left side. 4-1 Forster lead. Comes the 0-1 pitch to Paul. It is a slider and good for a strike. Good tight break from Carter. And now the catcher, Connor Ray, about to have a word with the relief pitcher. We've been looking at the modern wood era for the Foresters, how dominant they have been. And when you look at all-time wins in the NBC World Series, Santa Barbara is actually 5th in the list. Remember, this tournament started in 1935, well before the current Foresters and still even well before the original Foresters, which was in the mid-50s. And remember, it's only the current Foresters, which started in the early 90s, that have been playing in this NBC World Series. But with 2 out and a man at second, 0-2 pitch is a swing and a miss from Mick Paul. He strikes out chasing the high fastball from Carter Swan, and he Ks 2 in his first inning of work. Through 4.5, Foresters on top 4-1 over the Twins.
It's out of here. It's tough to tell whether that's another Foresters home run or one of the many flights going out of the Santa Barbara airport. With 22 daily departures and 11 direct destinations, including Chicago, Dallas, Las Vegas, San Diego, and Seattle, there's no need to drive and fly when you can take off local at the Santa Barbara airport. Prepare for a departure from the usual travel experience. Choose SBA and depart differently. A proud partner of the Santa Barbara Foresters.
Bottom of the 5th inning, Santa Barbara lead 4-1, and Zach James remains on the bump. The starter for the Sters. He'll face 9-1-2. Comes the first pitch. It's a fastball with an miss for Cole Dudding. Strike 1. James threw 4, has thrown 60 pitches. Allowed 4 hits, 1 run. 0-1. Chop to the left side. Mumma will slide over, but instead it will be Sawyer Farr, the shortstop. Nice play on the move. Man holding down the number 6 position. 1 away. Dudding is retired. And back to the top of the lineup. Bottom of the 5th inning, brought to us by our friends at Finney's Craft House. Finney's is a great place to gather before or after any Forester game, and great time to gather any time of year, even when the Foresters aren't playing back in Santa Barbara. Here's Peanut Brazel. The first pitch will miss inside. Looked like the changeup from James. Ball 1. Brazel's gone 0 for 2. Here comes the next pitch and a high fly ball into left. Mick Paul will have enough room to operate. Slides over to his right. Camps out under it. Makes the play. 2 down. Brazel, a high launch angle. Just got underneath it. Hit pretty hard. But now 2 out in the bottom of the 5th. And the breeze starting to pick up now. Here to Wichita, the massive American flag beyond the right field fence. I couldn't tell you the dimensions. It's massive. It's now the first pitch to Walker will be a called strike, 0-1. Is starting to move and kind of blowing in towards home plate, so coming in outer right field. Here's an 0-1 to Kyle Walker. Sees an off-speed down, 1-1. In the 6th inning, the Sters will have the bottom 3 scheduled. Farr, Becker, Miller. But right now, James, he's been rolling. 1-1 pitch to Walker. Is rolled over to second. Xavier Esker from right where he was standing will retire. Kyle Walker in a quick 3 up, 3 down 5th inning for James. Through 5, Forster still in command 4-1 over the Twins.
Lee & Sons Plumbing and Heating is proud to join the Foresters family of sponsors this season. I, Conan, a third-generation owner, was proud to coach for the Foresters for several seasons. Just like the Foresters are champs on the field, Lee & Sons are champs off it. We're experts in every type of plumbing and heating service and repair, from leaks and clogs to heaters and faucets. Strike out your plumbing problems by calling us at 805-965-9586. Lee & Sons, the champions of plumbing and heating. 805-965-9586. Stir it up.
On to the 6th inning, and the Sters 4-1 lead over the Derby Twins, a team hailing from Kansas, 1 of 6 in this NBC World Series, playing out of Kansas. So 6 of the 16 teams from the home state of Kansas. As Sawyer Farr, the switch hitter, will hit from the right side as Carter Swan, the left-handed reliever, remains in this game. Here's the pitch, and it's a bunt attempt, and bunted back over the screen and a couple rows deep, directly behind the plate for strike 1. Sawyer today has a work to walk, fly out into left. Leads off the 6th, then Becker and Miller. If anyone reaches the top of the order, and Xavier Esker. Santa Barbara struck early and struck fast, 3 runs in the first. Now the 0-1 pitch. There's a slider missing away, 1-1. The Foresters also tacked on 1 more run in the 4th. But the Derby Twins just hanging around. The Foresters ideally want to try to put this game away. Here's a 1-1. Swing and a miss for Sawyer Farr. Strike 2. The guys coming up. Becker and Miller both had hits in their last plate appearances. Swan, left-handed reliever, delivers a 1-2 pitch. Fastball is high. Ball 2. especially in the early innings of this game. Noted all the lightning strikes in the distance here in Wichita. The night skies have calmed down just a little bit. Still some sprinkle and razzle-dazzle overhead and in the distance of Mother Nature producing electricity. But the 2-2 now to Far is a fastball and a foul tip back in the glove of Rabe, and back-to-back Ks for Carter Swan, one away in the 6th. Carter Swan has faced 5 batters. The first man he faced was Easton Mumai at a base hit. The next 4 have been retired, 3 of which he has struck out. So with 1 away, bases clear, here is Zane Becker to hit from the right side. The pitch is going to be breaking ball missing down, ball 1. And for Santa Barbara, their second game of this World Series will be at midnight tomorrow, or if you'd like to call it Sunday morning, but kind of thinking of it as a Saturday night game, just pushed back till midnight, kind of similar to what today looked like. There's a 1-0. Check swing and fouls it back over the first base dugout, 1-1. And Santa Barbara, then obviously tonight, as we approach 1 o'clock Kansas time, and tomorrow we'll be getting accustomed to playing to the early morning hours here in Wichita. Currently lead 4-1, top of 6, bases clear, 1 out. Here's the pitch. Upstairs, 2-1 for Zane Becker. A.J. Crodell, the expected starter tomorrow for the Sters. Here comes a 2-1 pitch to Becker. Off speed will miss away. Ball 3. Caden Miller stands on deck. Swan coming set from the middle of the hill. 3-1 delivery to Zane Becker. He got knotted up, but went around, couldn't lay off the high fastball, full count. Swan hunches over, gets the sign from Connor Rabe, his catcher. Nobody on, 1 out. 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Another fastball from Swan, and he is now K'd 4 in the last 6 batters that he has faced. So now 2 down, and the base is clear. That's going to bring up Caden Miller. Miller to hit from the left side against the lefty reliever Swan, who has been nails since coming in the 5th. The pitch, Miller squared around to bunt. Sees a fastball away, all 1. Miller is struck out looking. An RBI single in a shallow left center. He's ahead here. The pitch. Check swing and the fastball just missed away. It looked like a very nice pitch from Carter Swan. Doesn't get the call. Ball 2. Couple waggles through the zone for Caden Miller. Comes the 2-0 pitch. Fastball upstairs. And Swan falls behind 3-0 after striking out the last 3 batters he's faced, going back into the last inning. Base is clear. Foresters lead 4-1. 2 down, top of 6. 3-0 pitch is a fastball located. Strike 1. Still been no one up in the bullpen for Santa Barbara. Looks like it'll remain Zach James's game. 3-1 pitch is missing upstairs. Ball 4, a fastball missing from Swan. That is 2-out base runner for the Santa Barbara Foresters. First walk of the day given up by the left-handed reliever. So 1 on, 2 down, and back to the top of the order for Xavier Esker. And since really the late parts of the season, we've seen a couple of people hold down the top spot in the order. Notably, it was Maddox Mandino for a long time. Saw Terrence Kill top spot a couple times. It's Esker. Here's the pitch, and it's foul back to behind the plate to start off the plate appearance, 0-1. Esker, especially at the end of the regular year, was firing on all cylinders. Unbelievable performances. Multiple hits, multiple doubles. Here's a 0-1. Fastball's away. Ball and a strike. Should Esker reach? Cole Chamberlain will be next. It's a 4-1 Forster lead. Top of the 6th. 1-1 pitch is a slider missing inside. All 2. Miller at first base. He already has a stolen base today. Will we see him take off here? And stepping off is Swan. Remember, he's a left-handed pitcher. I'm going to check over to the runner. Able to keep tabs on Miller. And by the way, that stolen base was against Lucas Weaver, the starter today for the Derby Twins, who went 4. There goes the runner. He takes off, and a foul ball back off the end of the bat for Esker. Into the backstop, and Miller's going to have to retreat back to first. As X fouls off the pitch, remains 2-2. In the bottom of the 6th inning, 3, 4, and 5 will be scheduled for the Derby Twins. Runner back at first, 2 out. 2-2 pitch is inside on a slider, full count. Esker takes a moment, and he bats from the right side. And stands back in with the Forsters leading 4-1, top of 6. Here comes the 3-2 pitch to Esker. It will miss inside, ball 4. And Swan, who was really untouchable through the first 6 men he faced, gives up back-to-back walks after striking out the first 2 men he faced in this inning. Miller's down to second, and Esker to first to bring up Cole Chamberlain. And if you've been following the Forsters, whether there are no outs, 1 or 2 on the scoreboard, the Forsters have been able to bring home runs, and especially in big spots. And even though the Forsters are leading 4-1, with how the Derby Twins have been hanging around, you'll want to give Zach James a little extra cushion. There's been no one up in the Forster bullpen, and James, who carved through 9-1-2 very efficiently in the last inning, remains his ball game. Cole Chamberlain already has an RBI today. He's gone 0 for 3. The RBI came on a ground out in the first. Here's the pitch. Here's a slider inside. All 1. Chamberlain does bat from the left side, so in terms of the matchup, advantage to the relief pitcher. Swan looking to work around back-to-back walks. 1-0 pitch, and the runners are going to take off. No throw down from Connor Rabe, and a double steal from Santa Barbara, and 2 now into scoring position with 2 out in the 6th. The running game has been critical already for Santa Barbara in this NBC World Series. And now a base hit to give the Sters some extra cushion. They currently lead 4-1. 2-0 pitch. Chamberlain is inside, but it gets past the catcher, and from third base, Miller will score with ease on a wild pitch, and the aggressive base running paying off once again. The runner's in the scoring position. Miller was at third, scores on a wild pitch, and is now 5-1 Santa Barbara, with Esker also advancing down to third. But not only that, Chamberlain just fell behind 3-0. Got ahead as Swan fell behind once again to a Santa Barbara Forster batter. 3 balls, no strikes. Here's the pitch. And the fastball is going to miss upstairs. Carter Swan, after 2 Ks to start this inning, gives up 3 straight walks. Now here comes one of the coaches out of the first base dugout for the Twins. Runners now on the corners. 1 run in, 5-1 the score. Top of the 6th inning. The Twins have 1 run on 4 hits. But really what shot them in the foot, especially early, 2 errors. Kept this really set the table of this ball game. Quick mound visit for one of the coaches for the Derby Twins. Trading back to the first base dugout where Twins are housed here, as now there's a man warming up, a right-hander for Derby down the right field bullpen. There's 2 strikeouts started this inning by Carter Swan, now 3 straight walks to load the bases. 5-1 Forster lead, 2 down. Batters Easton Mumon, not the man you want to be facing, not the part of the order you want to be facing with base runners. Check to the runner. Chamberlain is going to be back in safely, but they're going to be calling a balk on Swan. It's going to score Xavier Esker. He attempted to step off and throw to first base, and our umpiring crew calling a balk to score Xavier. That is the 2nd run of the inning, 6-1 Santa Barbara. And just like that, with 2 down, 2 runs now in for Santa Barbara. I didn't see much, and as he was stepping off, going over to check on Chamberlain, our umpiring crew saw enough. Balk is called, scoring the 2nd run of the inning. First pitch now to Mumaw. The runner from second's going to take off. No throw from the catcher, Rabe, as Cole Chamberlain stolen base down to 3rd. And Santa Barbara capitalizing on the base runners that they have been gifted by Swan. Some really good takes all the way through as well from the Sters. 1-0 is foul back by Mumaw. 1-1. Easton has base hit in the right, fly out to left. Another base hit in the right came in the last inning. And they bring home Chamberlain at 3rd. 1-1 pitch. Fastball's away. Ball 2. And there's been some history between these 2 clubs. The Derby Twins, their 18th appearance overall in this NBC World Series, and the Sters 10-time national champs. Here comes a 2-1 to Easton. That is missing down on a breaking ball, all 3. But the Forsters, they won their first NBC title in 2006. And who did they beat in that championship game? Well, it was the Derby Twins. An 8-7 victory for the Santa Barbara Forsters back in 06. Right now it's a 3-1 pitch as Mumaw will one-hop it to second. Cole Dudding is there, and the side will be retired. Santa Barbara with 2 out had 3 straight base runners. They push in 2 and is a 6-1 lead onto the bottom of the 6th. Santa Barbara Airport has 5 airlines: American, Alaska, Delta Air, Southwest, and United, with 12 direct destinations from Santa Barbara to Atlanta, Dallas, Denver, Las Vegas, Oakland, Los Angeles, Salt Lake City, Portland, San Francisco, Phoenix, Seattle, and Sacramento. With 23 daily departures from Santa Barbara, SBA's newest daily service on Delta Airlines to Atlanta and Salt Lake City can ensure that you can get anywhere in the world in just one stop. SBA is proud to join over 200 airports around the world in the Hidden Disabilities Sunflower Program. Passengers with a disability can opt into the program, and in doing so, trained staff at SBA will be there to provide additional level of customer service. You can learn more at www.flysba.com. Once again, you can learn more and book your flights today from Santa Barbara at www.flysba.com. on to the last of the sixth inning. Zach James remains in this ballgame. He'll face 3, 4, 5. First pitch is going to miss with a fastball upstairs to Jackson Searing. Ball 1. James has now tossed 66 pitches, including the first pitch of this inning. There's a 1-0, and a fastball will be located on the outside corner. 1-1. Just 5 pitches needed in the Finneys' fifth inning to retire the side and collect 3 outs. Here's a 1-1. Fastball away, ball 2. And Zach James, the ball game is his, looking to get through at least 6 for Santa Barbara. Searing, Allison, Sutherland will be scheduled for the Twins. Comes the 2-1 pitch. Fastball is rolled over to Sawyer far at short, drops to a knee. It was knocked down. He fumbles it, but will able to recover the throw in time. Didn't have a clean transfer initially, but makes the play. 6-3 ground out starts the 6th. And what Zach James is doing here tonight, again, you're expecting to be throwing around 8:30, maybe with the tournament, 3 games being played earlier today, maybe about 9, maybe at the latest you're playing an hour late, but to come into this ball game that started at 11:24 local time with the first pitch, a called strike on Noah Allison, the number 4 batter in the lineup, second batter of the inning. Fantastic stuff from James, getting himself ready to throw at 11 o'clock at night. 0-1, fastball away, 1-1. For the first time tonight, we have someone warming up in the pen for the Forsters. It's going to be Tag Andrews, the right-hander, now throwing. 6-1 Forster lead, bottom of 6. With 1 out, here's a 1-1 pitch and a big swing on a slider from Allison. He dropped to a knee. Strike 2. After Allison will be Sutherland. Infield playing straight away, as is the outfield. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. James, a bit of a hold. And the delivery is lifted in right, shallow right. Brenton Clark will make the catch on the run. 2 out in the 6th, and a good read from Brenton out in the right field lawn. That ball was slicing and cutting fast and falling quickly. But 2 down in the 6th. As it is a 6-1 Forster lead, and could be a critical 2 runs being put up in the top half of this inning for the Sters. It's now the DH Cade Sutherland, who's gone 0 for 2. The pitch, and he fouls back the fastball. 0-1. Sutherland continuing to rock the pink barrel along with the hot pink batting gloves today. With 2 down, the base is clear. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. There's a slider, swing, and a miss. Not only that for Zach James, what he's done, get himself ready to throw in this game, but if you're able to go 6, maybe beyond, we'll see what Bill Pintar does with Andrews now warming up. Keeps the bullpen fresh for this entire tournament. Here's an 0-2. Down and away, ball 1. And especially, for whatever reason, you have to play an extra game on Wednesday the 30th in the first round. You don't win the group. You're playing games in 3 straight days. Here's a 1-2 pitch, and it's lined in the left and will fall for a base hit in front of Mick Paul. And a 2-out base runner for the Derby Twins, and they have their first base runner since the 3rd inning. That base hit will break a streak of 9 retired in order by Zach James. So man on, 2 down. 6-1 Forster lead. 5 hits now for the designated home team, the Twins. It's Garcia, first pitch high and tight. Ball 1. And with Tag Andrews warming up. If you're able to save as many arms as possible throughout the course of this tournament, that's huge. Here comes the next pitch. It was jammed. It's rolled to short. Farr's going to scoop, flipped second. They get the force out. Xavier Esker was the recipient at second base to get the force out and retire the side. Zach James works around a 2-out knock, and we are through 6. 6-1 Forster lead in Wichita.
Lee & Sons Plumbing and Heating is proud to join the Foresters family of sponsors this season. I, Conan, a third-generation owner, was proud to coach for the Foresters for several seasons. Just like the Foresters are champs on the field, Lee & Sons are champs off it. We're experts in every type of plumbing and heating service and repair, from leaks and clogs to heaters and faucets. Strike out your plumbing problems by calling us at 805-965-9586. Lee & Sons, the champions of plumbing and heating. 805-965-9586. Stir it up.
On to the 7th inning, 6-1 Forster lead, and there will be a pitching change for the Derby Twins. Brandon Enders will now take over the right-hander, and there was an update for the Derby Twins. The man who pitched the last 2 innings, there was a jersey change. It was Ethan Brown pitching, who was wearing number 28, not Carter Swan. So Ethan Brown will end up going 2 innings, give up 1 hit, 2 runs. He walked 3 and struck out 4. Now the first pitch is in the air to center field off the bat of Brenton Clark. Out there is Peanut Brazel. Camps out under it, 1 away. So 1 pitch for Enders retires Clark, as TK and then Mick Paul will also be scheduled in this inning. So here's Terrence Kill. 2 for 3 day. Base hit and a right, scored a run in the first. Then an infield single in the third, and was caught stealing. Also has a fly out into right. Here comes the pitch. It's going to be a slider for a strike. 0-1. We're past 1 o'clock local time. The Sters getting acclimatized to what they're going to have to face tomorrow. Here's an 0-1. First pitch expected first pitch will be at midnight local time. And if there's some more weather, as we haven't seen some lightning in quite some time now, and the storm is passed. Also, if the games just finish at a timely manner, things can get stacked up pretty quickly in tournaments like this. Here's the next pitch. Sliders down and away. 2-1. We talked about the situation for Zach James having to get ready, and AJ Crodell will be in the same situation, the starter for the Sters. TK calls time. And with the Sters wearing their blue tops and white bottoms, digs back into this AstroTurf here at X Stadium. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. Fastball, whiff and a miss. 2-2. A fastball a little bit less likely than Ethan Brown, who had the highest velo so far for anyone out of the Derby Twins bullpen, or the starter, Lucas Weaver, who went 4. Bases clear, 1 out. 2-2 pitch. Fastball's down. Full count. It is a 6-1 Forster lead. And considering it's 1:16 in the morning, decent crowd still here at X Stadium, and here comes another 3-2 pitch to Terrence Kill. He spits on it. It's down in the dirt. Ball 4, and TK's aboard for the 3rd time today. A 1-out walk. Top of the 7th. And also, with baseball around the clock starting tomorrow at midnight, the NBC sponsors a number of events throughout the course of the night, bringing back baseball around the clock in recent years. How many people will stick around tomorrow to see all the games? But the batter is now Mick Paul, TK on base. First pitch misses away on changeup. Ball 1. Mick today, a near home run in the first. Had to settle for an RBI double. Fly out to left and a strikeout swinging. Gets his first look at Brandon Enders. We see TK take off. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Fastball away. Ball 2. A glare over from Brandon Enders over to first base, where Terrence Kill is currently standing. 2-0 pitch. That's in there for a strike on McPaul. 2-1. After Paul, Sawyer Farr, Brandon Enders looking for a ground ball to eliminate that 1-out walk by Terrence Kill II. Enders comes set from third base side of the hill, delivers a 2-1 pitch. It's a slider, and Paul just will foul it back for strike 2. And no, that ball was not fouled back. It was a swing and a miss, and that ball got past the catcher, Rabe, and that will allow Terrence Kill to advance down to second. Likely would go down as a pass ball on the catcher to advance TK. And the conversation now with Connor Rabe, the catcher, and also Brandon Enders out halfway between the hill and the plate. It is 2-2 for Paul. Another man in the scoring position with the Sters. And if you're just joining us later, and if you haven't watched any of the coverage for the NBC tournament, granted it is just a 5-run lead currently, just to keep you in the loop, there are run rules in place here in the NBC World Series. Here comes a 2-2 to Paul. It's a slider upstairs, full count. The team is up 10-plus runs through 5. The game is over in a run rule victory. And if you're up 8-plus through 7, you'll win the game. At this point, with Santa Barbara up by 5, we're in the top of the 7th. Here's a 3-2 pitch to Paul. It's rolled to a one-hopper over to short. Kyle Walker arranged to his left and dug up by the first baseman. Nice play by Damian Garcia to record the second out. Not an easy play by any means at first. TK does advance to third on the ground out. Paul is retired. 2 down, top of 7. And that's going to bring up the switch hitting Sawyer Farr. To hit from the left side for the 3rd time today. He has walked, fly out to left, and struck out swinging. That strikeout was when he was hitting from the right side against Ethan Brown. No one holds on to TK. He's a couple paces down the line at third. Here's the pitch, and foul back directly behind the plate. Strike 1. 6-1 Forster lead. Top of 7. You have to imagine with Tag Andrews starting to warm up, unless Bill Pintard's going to tell Zach James to start the 7th. Might be the ball game for the starter. Here's no one, and it looked like it might have grazed Sawyer, and yes, it did. A grazing blow off the right forearm to put runners on the corners, and Sawyer is aboard for the second time today.
Ouch, that looks like it hurt. This hit by a pitch brought to you by AltaOrthopedics.com. Got hurt? Call them.
First and third for Zane Becker. 6-1 Forster lead, top of 7. Zane today's gone 1 for 3. Line out to right, base hit to center, scored a run, and struck out. Here comes the first pitch from Enders. On its way is a slider, strike, 0-1. You see a number of bodies now milling around in the Forster bullpen. Starting to stretch out and loosen up. Can Santa Barbara push in another run? Here's an 0-1. Is a fly ball in the center, shallow center at that. Going back are 3 players converging, but it's going to be the right fielder who can't make the catch. Flying in was Muntz, and 2 runs are going to come around to score. TK and Sawyer Farr will score with a ball that fell really behind in front of 4 different players, all converged, and it was Tegan Muntz who was on a full-on sprint. Had to travel probably the biggest distance. That ball looked like went in and out of his glove. He was probably clocking terminal velocity as fast as he could go trying to make that play. Ends up falling and costing the Derby Twins 2 runs. It is now an 8-1 ball game. Becker is aboard, and that's going to bring up Caden Miller to the plate. A 2-out error costing the Twins 2 runs. We're in the top of 7. His first pitch foul back to Zane Becker, 0-1. And there's an 8-1 scoreline. Santa Barbara on top of the Twins. Here comes an 0-1 pitch to Caden Miller. Rather, it's actually going to be a pinch hitter, Caleb Hoover, standing in for the first time today. He's at a 1-1 count. Looks like it'll be a straight switch as well for Miller at first base. So 1 on, 2 out. Comes a 1-1 pitch for Caleb. Hoover will roll it through the gap into left field. A base hit and a pinch hit single for Hoover to continue this inning. So the error, which allows 2 runs to come in to score. And now the pinch hit by Caleb Hoover will turn over the lineup for the 4th time today. And Esker is coming to the plate for the 5th time. 8-1 Forster lead, top of 7. Xavier reached base 3 times today. Here comes the pitch. And it's going to be a slider, misses away. Ball 1. Remember, if the Forsters could somehow etch out a couple more runs, you need to be on top 8+ through 7 to have a run rule win. Here comes the next pitch. Fastball upstairs, 2-0 for Esker. With 2 down, remember, and runners at first and second. Right now is a 7-run advantage. We'll still have to play the bottom of the inning, but this could be huge for Xavier Esker if he could put something in play. The lead runner is Becker. 2-0 pitch is up the middle. It's a base hit. Zane Becker from second is coming home. It's scooped up by Brazel. The throw is cut off, and Santa Barbara have a 9-1 lead. Big hit from Xavier Esker, continuing to punish the Derby Twins after a costly 2-out error. It's an 8-run ball game in the top of the 7th. Second hit of the day for Esker, his first RBI. That's going to bring up the 8th batter of the inning. Cole Chamberlain to hit from the left side. So Santa Barbara have now 8 runs, and the first pitch nearly hits Chamberlain. He had to shimmy his way out and stumbled his way out of the left-handed batter's box for ball 1. And so whoever's going to be in this game, whether it's Zach James or a reliever, You put up a 0, and Santa Barbara will win their first game of this tournament. But Chamberlain looks for extra cushion, some extra insurance for his arms on the hill. 2-on, 2-out, 9-1 score. His next pitch, and it's going to hit him. Chamberlain drops to his hands, took a pitch inside, and ends up getting hit this time, and that's going to load up the bases for Easton Moomaw.
Ouch, that looks like it hurt. This hit by a pitch brought to you by AltaOrthopedics.com. Got hurt? Call them.
3 runs have come around in the 7th, and looks like a visit to the hill for the manager for the Derby Twins. Entire infield and battery part of this conversation. So at this point, the damage has been done for the Twins. You're going to need to at least score 1 run in the bottom half of this inning to not lose the game in 7 innings. And give the Santa Barbara Foresters a run rule victory. Runner at third is Caleb Hoover. At second, Esker. Chamberlain is at first. It's going to remain with Brandon Enders, who is working pretty quickly. Retired the first man he faced, which was Clark. Gave up a walk, then retired Paul. But then the next 5 men have all reached base, notably the E9, which allowed 2 runs to come in to score. The Hoover pinch hit single, Esker an RBI single. Chamberlain was just hit by a pitch to juice the bases for the 9th batter of the inning, Easton Moomaw. Infield at double play depth. First pitch is into center field, and it's a base hit for Easton Moomaw. Hoover will score from second base. Esker will score with ease, and Santa Barbara have taken an 11-1 lead in the 7th, and a 2-run single for Moomaw. The Sters have batted around in the 7th frame. 3rd hit of the day for Easton. And that is the cushion Santa Barbara needed going into the bottom of the 7th inning. It's now going to be Brenton Clark who led off this inning. Runners now on the corners. Here's the pitch. It's going to be a high strike. Clark thought he was a fastball upstairs, but it's 0-1. Here comes an 0-1 now to Clark. And the fastball's on the outside edge, strike 2. And if I did say Moomaw double, beg your pardon, it's a 2-run single into center field. His 3rd base hit of the ball game. At 3rd base is Cole Chamberlain in a massive 7th inning. Foresters lead 11-1. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It is a slider called strike 3, and Clark is down on 3 pitches, but the damage has been done. We're going to the bottom of the 7th. Santa Barbara looking for a couple more outs and a run rule victory over the Derby Twins.
It's out of here. It's tough to tell whether that's another Foresters home run or one of the many flights going out of the Santa Barbara Airport. With 22 daily departures and 11 direct destinations, including Chicago, Dallas, Las Vegas, San Diego, and Seattle, there's no need to drive and fly when you can take off local at the Santa Barbara Airport. Prepare for a departure from the usual travel experience. Choose SBA and depart differently. A proud partner of the Santa Barbara Foresters.
Last of the 7th inning in Santa Barbara, an 11-1 lead over the Derby Twins. Zach James, the starter, remains in this ballgame, looking for 3 more outs to seal a Santa Barbara victory. First pitch is flooded up to the second baseman. Xavier Esker camps out under it. Just like that, 1 pitch, 1 away. Did see Caleb Hoover pinch hit top half of this inning. He was replaced by Johnny Rodriguez, the former Forester. We mentioned him earlier in the game. Some late season pickups for the Sters. Rodriguez, former Forester last year, also played with Orange County Riptide this season over at first base. Here's the first pitch, and a swinging Tegan Muntz lost the bat, flew like a saucer towards the third base dugout. And that is the second time this game, and I believe the third time in the last 2 games, a batter has lost grip of the bat and goes sailing towards the third base dugout, but it was strike 1 on Tegan Muntz. Rodriguez is at first, the left-handed first baseman, but right now Muntz stands in, with the Derby Twins needing at least a couple runs to force an 8th inning in the NBC. If you're up 8+ runs through 7, it'll be a run rule victory. Here's an 0-1. Fastball is away, ball and a strike. Currently, Sters up by 10 runs. They lead 11-1, bottom of 7. Here comes a 1-1 pitch to Muntz. Swing and a miss on the fastball, 0-2. Zach James looking to finish what he started. With 1 away, 1-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Another fastball from James. Give him 5 Ks on the day. 2 out in the 7th. That's going to bring up the number 9 batter, Cole Dudding. Trying to extend this game for the Derby Twins. The 2 teams playing out of Pool C. We'll have 2 more games in group stage play before moving on to the first round elimination, which starts on Wednesday the 30th. Here's the pitch. Fastball upstairs, ball 1. And remember, the winner of every group, so 4 teams will have a first round bye and will jump straight to the quarterfinals. That's huge, especially in terms of their pitching staff. 1-0 pitch is a fly ball into center field. Terrence Kill is there, will move in, and the side is retired, and Zach James will throw the complete game. Fantastic work from the starting pitcher for Santa Barbara. Finish what he starts and saves a whole lot of arms in that Santa Barbara bullpen as the Forsters will greet their starter and their battery right in front of the hill. And a commanding first game victory for the Santa Barbara Forsters. An 11-1 win over the Derby Twins in the march for an 11th NBC title. Step 1, could check that box for the Sters, winning your first game and under some not the easiest conditions. First pitch was delayed 3 hours, and you come out, put up 11 runs, and your starter will go 7 innings. Good for a complete game with the run rule victory. And a great first day in action for Santa Barbara. And we appreciate you sticking with us wherever you may be, back in Santa Barbara on the West Coast or anywhere around the country. It's now past 1:30 local time. The Forsters, their next game will be tomorrow at midnight. If you'd like to call it Sunday morning, but in terms of logistics, you're going to be waking up and be playing a game at midnight tomorrow. A.J. Crodell is the expected starter for the Santa Barbara Forsters, and they're off to a great start in Wichita. Once again, final score 11-1. Sters take it over the Derby Twins. For the entire team, the entire staff, I am Hunter Shoemake saying so long from X Stadium in Wichita, Kansas. We'll see you tomorrow. First pitch scheduled for midnight local time, and we'll see you then covering all the action from the NBC World Series. Have a good night.
Thank you.